G'day and welcome to the Early Crow, episode 34 with Paps and Dicko, the son of the Dimmy King, as we learn across the socials on Saturday. We're going to get to that later on. Dan Bowman joins us for this week's episode because we're going to talk a fair bit of golf and a little bit of NBA. Dan, how you been?
Good, thanks, Jack. Thanks for having me back.
Hey guys, before we get started, Pappy?
Boys, this show is brought to you by Makita, and step up to the next generation professional cordless power tools with Makita XGT 40 volt and 80 volt max. Right now, get your hands on amazing bonuses when you purchase selected Makita XGT kits and combos. Limited time only, offer via online redemption. See makita.com.au for details. Makita XGT, more intelligent, more efficient, more power, more Makita.
Oh, wow. What a read. What a debut. Oh, that's why we love him. PGA, Valhalla. Xander Schauffele got it done. He broke his maiden in majors. It was a phenomenal watch this morning. Victor's back. He was like electric like he can be, just dynamite with his irons, sinking putts. Bryson's the best thing in golf. God, they need to merge the tours as quick as they can. He adds so much. The crowd loves him. You can see it. But Xander was just too strong. Dan, thoughts on today's golf? And then I think we'll get to the fascinating, like, couldn't make it up storyline that involves the number one and the biggest godbother in golf, Scotty, our man Scheffler.
It was good to see Xander win finally. He's been close a lot of times. I think he'd had 5 finishes or top 10 finishes in majors, which is ridiculous. It's good to see Hovland and Coleman back up there. One of the bizarre things in golf, they were both a couple of years ago looked on the precipice of being the best. Decided to change coaches, tinker with stuff. It didn't work. What do you know? Last 6 months, they've both gone back to their original coach and they're back playing good golf again. It's a funny thing about that golf.
There's a bit of theme, like a theme of that through the tournament, like the value of Scheffler losing his caddy. There's a number of guys, like you just said, who've, like, Victor's. Like there was a clip of him after the second or third round where he said, "I almost didn't play this week because I just didn't feel like I could compete."
Yeah, I've seen that. That's amazing, isn't it? Like, he won 2 playoff events 6 months ago. A world beater. Even at the Ryder Cup, he was dominant. And then just completely lost his game through tinkering with things.
So it's weird, isn't it? Like, I just don't understand. Like, he was dominant like last year, at the end of last year. We were saying this bloke's just going to take the golfing word by. It's just going to be him. And then what's that saying? Don't fix it if it ain't broke.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
In an imperfect game, they're chasing perfection, and it's just impossible. Like, you look at Scotty. Scotty's the best ball striker, the best strokes gained, Peter Green, the best short game. He putts about as good as we do. Like, and he's just embraced it. Like, some weeks he's going to putt good, some weeks he's not. And he's not changing coaches or tinkering with things. He's just, well, this is who I am. I'm just going to be the best at what I'm the best at. And it is what it is.
We spoke about it a bit in the WhatsApp, and shout out to Paddy McCartan, who came from the clouds to jam Harry and, to a lesser extent, Silk, Errol Goulden in the Danusta and pinched our golf tournament number 2. What did you make of Xander's second shot on 18 was, like, I reckon the biggest big boy shit I can remember seeing in a major. Like, the commentators were off it, but I was with him. Like, what's the upside here? And he flushed it. He didn't even take a divot.
You know what it was like? It was like, remember Matty Fitzpatrick's second shot on 18 a couple of years ago at the US Open out of the bunker?
Yeah.
It was like that. Like, righto, big boy time. You're going for it. You don't have a choice. And just pulled it off. It's unbelievable.
But he had a choice. He could have, like, just popped that down and had, 120 in.
Played for a playoff.
Fitzpatrick had to get that on the green in a way. Like, it was such a. I thought it was a chance of losing, then as soon as I saw him like take that shot, I thought he'll get up and down here.
And the putt just snuck in as well.
Oh, how... So I saved on him on the end of round 3. I couldn't help myself. I've fallen into him that many times, and he burnt me. And when he was tied for the lead, and I thought, Colin, you're a bit of a nonny. He was still $3.50. I think he was like $3.95 on the fair, and I thought I've got to have a saver because if Xander wins and I haven't had a Beckle on, I'd be beside myself. So I was watching the fair and the prices changing as he was going up 18. Oh, it was hard watch.
What did he get out to?
I think after Bryson held it and got in at 20, I think Xander was still like $1.90 and Bryson was $2.50, and then he was about the same after the tee shot. But then when he hit that second one, like you say, he got into like $1.30, and like I think everyone agreed he was going to get up and down.
I reckon it was such a big day for Xander. If he fell over, I reckon he's brown bread in regard to majors, like for the next 5 years, you know.
You reckon if it was Scotty up his backside and not Victor and Bryson, it would have changed things?
I reckon there's probably not two worse blokes to be like just have ahead of you. Like they'd all know Victor's probably the most talented guy out there. If he's on, he's on, and Bryson's just like a momentum machine. I'd rather have like Scheffler right next to me and think he's got to make a putt, or if we go to a playoff, it's probably going to be a putt off. Probably.
I was also thinking, like Bryson was a big chance to make eagle on the 18 compared to the other boys. I reckon when Xander thought, oh fuck, he's only made birdie, I'm a good sniff here if I can just make bird. Yeah,
he found the bunker, which was probably pretty costly. Let's get to the probably the best bit of the PGA. The fucking chaos. What night was this? Because was it the Swans?
Yeah, Friday night.
Carlton night. Yeah, so we were all, well, you know, those of us that don't play for the Swans, which is about half the WhatsApp, were roaring the boys on a great performance, and it started to like filter through that Scotty Scheffler had been arrested, and it needed to like. It's kind of like when it's raining and the sun's out. You're not sure if it's just like a bit of spit. It's not real. It had to be a bit more sort of precipitation before you believed it. And it started to get real. And then there's people on him and people not with him. Matty Punts out wide's giving me all the Betfair flux, going, no, he's definitely been locked up. He's out to $9. And what an amazing event. And, you know, obviously tragic what happened. To the bloke and his family lost his life. That's tragic. But fucking Scotty Scheffler's side of it, unbelievable.
So I was going to bed because I got to get up at 4 a.m. So like 5 minutes into the third, I thought, Swans, I'm going to bed. And then a mate sent me the photo and the video, and then I think I dropped it in the WhatsApp and just went to bed. So when I woke up, I had like 50 comments from you boys, and I'm reading over it about his laying off on the fair and everything, and I was dying laughing reading it.
You were able to go to bed after seeing that photo. You were able to go to bed. That, like, as soon as I got that just triggered me, and I was just in Twitter for an hour trying to work out what was going on.
That's when Twitter's. It's like that's what Twitter is built for like those moments, information like live, unfiltered, and then like just great GIF work and memes galore.
Oh, it was fucking funny because when we come off the field, we were in the rooms and he's talking shit, and Paddy's like, mate, Scotty Scheffler's been locked up. He's out for 12s on the Betfair. I reckon we get on him. That's the first thing he said to me. So he's like, we've got to get on him because if he goes in, he'll come back in. Oh, it was so gold. So I don't even know if Paddy actually ended up backing him because I think he come back into sevens, did he?
Yeah, it was about that.
Yeah. Oh, it was fucking funny.
He didn't say good game. The first thing he said.
Yeah. It was good.
Oh.
It was the whole. It was actually quite funny. The whole chat room was just the whole change room was just about Scotty Scheffler's been locked up. It's good stuff.
Just America.
It's just typical America, isn't it? Like law enforcement over there just take things to the extreme.
Yeah. Just the best.
It reminded me of that South Park episode, the baseball one, where they lock Randy up.
Yeah, 100%. It's pretty amazing that he came out, though, after being locked up in jail and stretching in jail, which I found that hilarious as well.
Oh, mate,
He handled his press interviews good. But
I was at
shoot
Auskick on
66,
Saturday morning, Praddy, just telling everyone, everyone. He shot 66.
It's
He was
unbelievable,
arrested.
isn't it?
He was arrested in the dark. He's a god botherer. He wouldn't even swear. He got arrested. You realise how rattled he would. He was in a cell. They took a photo of him in an orange jumpsuit, guys, and he shot 66.
Yeah.
And
Not
golf
many
is the
blokes.
biggest mental game in the
Yeah,
in the
100%.
world. You need your mind on.
It's fascinating that getting arrested as a real straighty 180, he comes out and shoots 66. Caddy has a day off, goes to shit.
What about how he
Shows-
didn't drop his name and say, "Don't you know who I am?" to try and get out of it? Just
Apparently, all he said quietly was to one of the media guys who was just repeating himself relentlessly on the coverage. Please help me, just quietly to him as he was just getting taken away.
he would have never had a parking ticket. He just wouldn't know what to do. The poor old police officer's going to be running security to Costco in 12 months.
Yeah, and every now and again, someone will catch on, you'll be taking your kids for Maccas or whatever, and go, "That's Knackers. He's the one that locked up." The best, in my opinion, the best meme cover of it was the other guys with Mark Wahlberg when he shot Jeter and it ruined his life. That was
Yeah. So good. Great movie, too.
that's the PGA at Valhalla. The next big one is the US Open, I believe. I'm not sure how far away that is, but
Month.
a month or so. We've got to figure out the terms and conditions, more so the length of our third tournament for the Early Crow Golf Club. Do we run all the way through to the Open, or is it a short and sharp sort of 2020 effort to the US Open? We're going to see what the appetite's like and how much everyone's happy to let Juzzy be on tick for.
I liked having 2 majors and finishing on a major. That was good.
Yeah, that was good.
Big start. PGA enormous, almost as good as perhaps as Makita Reed. Don't forget to check it out. Should we go to Friday night? As a Swans fan, still have you can lose games on a Friday night at the SCG that you're supposed to win. You can go in as dominant favourites, and all of a sudden, what's going on? Midway through the first quarter, this was going to be a tight, but probably a sloppy, gutsy win. That's what they've done for 20 years, I reckon. What is going on in that joint, Tom?
It was a funny old start, wasn't it? It was they've come out firing, and I think they just they did. They just won the centre clearance, won the contested ball in the first 15 minutes, and we couldn't really do much. And when we'd win it, we'd turn it over, or we didn't surge the ball and get it forward, take territory like they were. But to our boys' credit, we stuck to it, stuck to the game plan, stuck to our roles. Didn't throw toys out of the cot. So we stuck to the basics and slowly turned it. Probably thanks to a few blokes that can play pretty good footy. With Heens and Chad and Grundy and Rowbottom inside, they turned the game a bit, and it was good. Really, really good win. One of the better wins the last probably 2 or 3 years, I think.
I agree.
Be able to come back from that, so it's good.
Do you think that's something you guys are going to have to get used to? That you're the big dogs now, you're top dog, and you're going to get these teams at 110% for as long as they can go at 110% for, because they need to get up for you guys?
Yeah, I think that's what happens when you are the top side. You're the hunted, and everyone wants to come after you. So that's what we'd do when we're playing Collingwood or these other teams when we were sort of around that 4th, 5th mark. You want to beat the best, so teams are going to come out firing. We're going to be ready for it, and as long as we can play that 4-quarter footy, we'll back ourselves in most times.
Do you boys believe in karma?
Yeah.
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 It's real. Because I saw my favourite small forward put on a little block for a hobbling little midfielder, which I thought was ridiculous. But it all made sense when he sort of blocked him into a bit of a hole and just got the nut back. It's kind of like a 1-2, but a block instead of a give. That was some of the greatest work of all time. And shout out like we were hanging it on the golf commentary this morning, Dan. But some of the AFL commentary is that dot ball. It's not funny. Luke Hodge orbits his own son. He is that good. He called it straight away. Told him what he did. He saw it. Like he sees things and calls them and calls the game quick and fast. I think he's the best commentator by a mile.
Yeah, I reckon he should be. I reckon he should be a coach because he was always so smart. But what happens? They're all going to the media. Like the Salwoods and the Hodges and the Cotchins, which is unfortunate. But he does see the game very well. I like Hodgie as well as a commentator. Like Richo as well. Richo's you just love to have a beer with Richo as well, wouldn't you?
At what point did you know that ball was going through too? Like 50 out, across the body, couple of steps. I thought it was maybe as your right foot landed, you were off and gone.
Yeah, well, I turned pretty quick back to the boys. It was, I struck it nice. I've been missing I did miss a few in the end, but it was nice to get sort of a half chance away and early in the game get you going a bit.
Don't fucking undersell it. It was a massive goal across your body. It was a 10 out of 10 for difficulty, and it was like at the rare point of that game where we needed it.
It was a momentum. It was a momentum shifter for sure.
Definitely.
And he doesn't go straight. I just want to pull you on one thing whilst I'm pumping your tires. My gut feel would be as soon as it like left the boot and you're off. I don't think you're looking at the boys. You're just making sure you wind up a portion of the crowd, then get to the boys. Would anyone disagree with that?
That has to be 100% truth.
Yeah, good.
From the vision. Surely, do the doctors stress about when you kick goals like that with your blood pressure and that you're potentially going to get lightheaded? Because I thought your head was going to explode off your shoulders. Run around with the boys, it was great.
Yeah, I did give that one a bit of a screen, so it was good.
Fuck, mine would.
It was nice.
I kick one, Oz kick went harder than that. Like, come on, as if you wouldn't.
Oh, mate, I'd be going off.
I was flat with that one in the pocket. I fucking on the left.
Actually, stop. I wanted to ask you, what does the Dim Sim King say about that? 'Cause I wasn't happy with it.
With the what?
Why are you going on your left like that? What's wrong with your right?
This is an Oz kick champion.
Explain it to everyone. I reckon people at home would be curious as to why you would go on your left there instead of just a little Checkside.
Well, if you don't have a left foot, you do your right foot. But because I can...
Yes.
If there's one thing in AFL I'm happy to butter up a bit of cash for, would be that. As long as it's not too far out.
For me, I would kick... before the game, I go out there, would kick 15 left foot snaps, 15 right foot snaps each game. I do it at training all the time. I've just always sort of liked the left foot snap rather than check side. Like I've practiced both, and the percentage wise, I kick more left foot snaps than check side, so I go for that. But if it was real close.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. So it's a comfort. It's like comfort mentally plus the numbers from your experience makes a decision. And I'd imagine as you get further out from goal, because a little cheeky left foot snap's one thing, but like if that was 35 out, the power's not there.
Yeah, definitely. If it's 35 out, I'd be probably check side on it. Yeah, a snap is a lot easier to bend than a check side. Personally, I think the other boys would agree, but it's it was frustrating. I was flushing them before the game there. I didn't miss, and then I get there and I pretty much put it in the book and I fucking missed it. But anyway,
it looked in for a while.
Yeah, it was flat.
Who would you have given the votes to amongst the boys? It was a big night for a lot of guys, like you said. Rowbottom had a stack of tackles. Grundy dismantled them again. He is a weapon.
Mm.
The Chad probably got in front of Isaac on the night. He's just getting better and better. The sprint work he did in the pre-season, it is paying off big time. If it was horse racing, Dan, like they'd all be like, remember the magical waters of Warrnambool? There'd be a lot of people moving, to sprint training if it was horse training because Chad Warner's airborne.
He's like prime Cyril when Cyril used to look at blokes and just go, "You can't go with me, son," and just take off. That's what he's like.
It looks like he goes, "Is it just you?" Like, there's three of you. Fuck, all right, here you go. I'll get rid of it.
It's he's just so powerful. He's only 22 years old. He's like just scary. But he's powerful, quick, just breaks tackles for a living, has a 60-metre kick. He's going to be a very good player, already is. He's like you know when Dangerfield in his prime just break away from stoppages and kick it. He's like him, but he's only 22. Dangerfield probably doing that 25, 26. So
I reckon
a very good player.
he's underrated for his ability to read the game. That's why he gets so much ball, like intercepting and also going forward. Like he's read the ball to get forward before everyone else has. And I think it's like missed in like that's a serious talent that he's got.
Yeah, if he can sit forward and like he's got a big jump, quick on the lead mark, like he can do it all. So it's a very big asset to have, as well as Haynes. Haynes is a gun at that as well.
They're already starting to push him forward a little bit, aren't they? A little bit of like Pagan's paddock style sometimes.
Yeah, it's funny.
I love that.
As a forward, it's good stuff. They've got the ball and he's just walking back to the goal square. It's like, Jay, come on, mate, you got to defend this way first. He's like,
Speaking of like absolute freakish talent, West Coast dismantled the D's. And Praddy, talk to me about this bloke. I don't know what else to say. And also, I put my hand up. I was wrong about Waterman, but let's talk about the gun first.
Yeah, I thought you were talking about Waterman the gun, but anyway. You left yourself wide open for that one. I think the vision just says it all, doesn't it? He's 18 years old. How perhaps you probably can't comment too much, but how spewing would North be that they won that game and they've missed out on this bloke? He will win a Brownlow. There's no doubts about it. He's that freakish, and he has that much of an impact on the game. I think did he have 21 or 22 disposals, and he literally tore that game completely apart.
It's so good. You don't have to watch West Coast play. You can just watch Twitter.
Yeah, it's unreal. He's just like what you're saying about Chad. He's just so powerful, and he's just a contested beast. He's such a big unit for such a young man, and can't imagine what it's going to be like if he puts on another 5 kilos and gets stronger. And after being in the AFL system for a couple of years, it could be. Hopefully, his body holds up, and yeah, it could be proper scary. But West Coast are going all right, perhaps. They've got a lot of young kids these days that are actually stepping up a little bit. And if they can keep a lot of them together, I think in the next couple of years, they'll start to get better and better. And yeah, I can see them playing finals in the next 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, well, if you got a bloke like Harley Reid, it's only 18 years old, doing what he's doing, he's going to take the team with him. So, yeah, he's ridiculous. Like, there was Dacos a couple of years ago, but I feel like Dacos has sort of impacted different ways where he's kicking and pick teams apart like that and have his 35, a few handball overseas running off and things like that, which is a freak talent to do. But he's sort of just contested ball, exploding from stoppages. Like, it's good stuff. It's actually quite good to watch even as a player. Like, I actually sat there yesterday just to watch him and just see how it was going. Like, it's just elite to watch.
What about Jake Waterman, though?
Yeah.
He's leading the Coleman medal.
Dicko laughed at us when we said he's winning the Coleman. You know he missed a week as well.
Yeah, I know. I'm starting to worry about what I said.
I can't understand.
Well, you know what helped me? You know what helped me, Dan? Is if Michael Voss didn't fucking put Kerno behind the ball in the second and third quarter, win the game. Put your guns up forward. I didn't see Waterman behind the play.
That Waterman used to be that swing player. He'd go down back, and they didn't have a spot for him. He was a fringe player, and then in the off season, he just changed his diet and his training, and he's bloody Wayne Carey the second now.
He has got the rig of a good player, hasn't he? Like a good power forward. He looks like a bit of an Adonis.
He's taken the most marks, contested marks in the league, and he's sort of like he wouldn't be, he'd be 190, low 190s, I reckon. That's big. Like, he's taken more Kentucky marks than Harry Mackay, I think, and he's missed one game.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I was wrong, and I apologise.
Did you remind you a little bit of the G Train, Dicko, from way back in the day?
Just that
real mongrel, go and get it, kick goals in your face.
He looks like if it was a big game, well, more so back in the day, you could rev him up a bit and he'd do something stupid and go half mad, you know, like I think that's the only thing that can stop West Coast is just that they live in Perth and they might go a bit mad sometimes. And he looks like he would be an absolute weapon off the track. I don't know, but yeah.
Who do you think wins the Coleman from here, Dicko? So you got King, Hogan, Waterman, and Curnow all on 29 goals. Fritsch on 25, Langford on 25, McKay on 24. Who wins it from here?
Where's McDonald at?
Brucey.
Where's Big Joel Amade at?
Logan's got 18 and he's 17th, and Mr. Amadi's got 17 goals at 20th.
Will Hayward probably kicked more than them. Will Hayward would have kicked 20 of them.
That is correct. He's kicked 20. He's 14th.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about him too much. I want to keep the price down. I don't know. I really have no idea.
I think Curnow will. Like, he's going to get the opportunities more, and he's reliable. I think Ben King's probably inconsistent. Waterman's got to continue what he's doing, which is unbelievable if he can sustain it. Yeah, I reckon I'd be backing Curnow in.
Yeah, I agree with you, Dan, to be honest. I think once all of Carlton's midfielders get back as well, I think the supply will be good. I don't know. I haven't heard about Wiedering and his injury. I don't know how long he's out for.
He's missing this week.
Is he? Yeah,
I saw that on X.
He's a big pillar down back. You don't want, as you said, Dicko Curnow being swung into the back line too much. But yeah, I agree with you, Dan. I think 2 Colemans the last 2 years, and I don't see why he won't do it again.
Anything else in AFL that's caught you guys' eyes over the weekend?
I think Collingwood got one of the best get out of jail free cards of all time.
Here he goes.
I'm saying it in a, like, the players would run that far. I know Paps can't comment. Players would run that far all the time and not get pinged. Whilst it probably is over 15 metres, like, does that mean the umpires are now going to have to start blowing the whistle like 45 times a game?
I think if you're a commentator and you justified that free kick, look yourself in the mirror and go, I am a dot ball. I am hanging on for dear life. I am petrified of losing my job. Because he ran too far, 100%.
Yeah.
But it happens every game. And all you want as a fan, and I'm sure as a player, is just consistency.
I agree.
He didn't take the piss. He bounced, straightened up, ran around the bloke, ran and kicked.
Yeah.
No one watching would have gone, that was too far.
Nah. People didn't know what happened. I was at the ground. People didn't know what happened. The play kept going on for ages. None of the players knew. They kept playing.
And that should be the like deciding factor in good or bad decision.
Yep. It was loud at the G. There was 65,000, 69,000. There was a fair few there on Saturday. It was loud. But yeah, literally none of the players stopped bar unfortunately Isaac. He's done a hamstring. Everyone on the ground kept running. Like, he like, it sucks that it did a hammy. He's like elite. He's elite. He has impact, like Harley Reid has impact in games. That goal that he dribbled,
so clean.
Yeah, that goal that he dribbled out of the stoppage in the pocket. Like, even I was standing up there, like, in the standing bay anyway, but clapping. I was like, that was proper, like, just football nous. Knew exactly where to get his opponent and dribbled around the corner. It was awesome.
Do you guys almost feel sorry for Adelaide?
No.
Like, they are playing a good brand of footy. They're trying their best. That you can see it. They're whacking in, and they are getting beat just again and again.
No, I don't.
And again.
I think they've had 15 games decided by under a goal in the last 2 or 3 years, I think. And they're 4, 10, and 1. So they clearly, a couple of those have been umpiring decisions, I'll agree. But they haven't gone to work hard enough on their situations at training to work out to put a game away. They get in the same spot consistently. And the only game they put away was the Carlton game because Carlton sent Curnow back and then they couldn't score themselves.
That way in your mind as a player, perhaps, if you're in that situation, you reckon the boys are thinking about it during the week and into a game?
Well, we do a lot of game state stuff because, as you would say, Collingwood would do a lot, and you want to be prepared as much as you can. And like we'll watch a bit of that game, the last 5 minutes or so of that game, and take bits and pieces what we would and what we wouldn't do. And and put it into ours. So we do a lot of it, and it's pretty important because if you can snag 3 or 4 games by a goal, it's massive.
When I was at the Anzac Day game last year, which obviously Diggo's going to say, here we go, which Collingwood got up. When I think it was Langford that was having a shot for that goal in the last quarter. Harry Jones, sorry. Essendon were just in a position to get ready to cheer the teammate, and they were completely out of shape. Whereas this year, on Anzac Day, Essendon's structures were just so much better the entire time. So obviously you can learn from it. And Dan, what you're probably saying is that like Adelaide potentially haven't thought about it. It's all a part of their training, but yeah, just haven't executed in the right moments.
You can see the teams that work on it because the same thing happened in the Essendon Port Adelaide game last year. It was a contest. Yep. It was a Nick Martin dump kick, and Houston marked it for goal, win the game. This year, the Adelaide game, the West Coast game, Anzac Day, those same situations arose, and they weren't dump kicking it out. So they clearly went to work on it in the off season. And like Pat said, Collingwood are relentless on how much they work at it, and that's why they win so many close games.
Footy's good right now.
Yeah,
I think most games are quite watchable. Speaking of watchable, Magic Round, we won't touch on what we just watched, which was probably my highlight from the week that was Magic Round up there in Brisbane. A week of scare results, I thought, and you know, a tough way to make a living if you're betting on it. Should we start though, perhaps with the phenomenal and enjoyable and sweaty finish to what was Magic Round for us both on the Dolphins minus 11.5. A fucking roller coaster mentally, physically. My mum was worried about me. I had the kids cheering for the Finn. What a game! What a game of rugby league.
It was good. I think my old man was into about Dim Sim 18 when they started. And then...
It looks like he really snuggles up there on the couch and just settles in.
Oh, he loves it, mate. Blinds down all day. He had a few beers and he had a good time, the old fella, with a couple of mates. So it was good for him. He had my partner's old man up and then one of their good mates, so they went to the pub and it was funny. So he was a bit dusty the next day, but
any meat trays this week?
Mate, you wouldn't believe it. We actually he come home with the meat tray from the Coogee Bay.
No.
I'm fucking serious. He come home with the meat tray. I ate it. I cooked it up tonight for Croc and Skipper. Oh, mate, I'm not even kidding. He was FaceTiming. So Dan, for context, my brother's nickname actually is called Meat Tray down at Drill now. Apparently, they call him Meat Tray. He won the Meat Tray at Nearham South probably 4 weeks ago, and then Mum and Dad come up 2 weeks ago, and they went to the RSL with all the families and won a meat tray, 2 meat trays, and then went to Coogee Bay. Dad went to Coogee Bay on the weekend and won another meat tray. It was it's extraordinary stuff.
That's actually really good punning. Like, you'd have to have a voice inside the back of your head going, "Nah, I'm not playing tonight. Like, I can't win it again." You know, maybe he just keeps betting.
Fucking funny, but it was a good multi we got home, and it was stressful.
Thank God. So stressful. Do you watch much rugby league, Dan?
Rarely. If it's Saturday night and the AFL games are rubbish, then I'll flick it over. But
they can run a full play, score a try, all this shit happens, and you're still not 100% sure you've got the try, and it's just like the anxiety just washes over you, and you just bathe in it for a little bit until they say try confirm. Like on Friday nights or Thursday night's game, I think it would have been Friday night. The Raiders put up like an absolute sticky Ricky Stewart Raiders milk performance, and it jammed me in the Danusta. They were down to 11 men at one stage, and somehow they beat the Bulldogs, who I think are going good. And I was so gutted because I'd already had one of the horses win in my multi. And then on social media, you see Laurie Daly, one of the all-time greats, 5'8" for the Raiders, is up there in the room, and it's like an old boys' day. they're the little bits of information that you need to know when you're
Bit of
betting.
extra motivation.
You know, they got fucking Laurie, Meninga, like some of the all-timers there. They're going to lift, and they did. And full credit to the Raiders. They're the hardest team to catch in rugby league, I thought. Our man Money Munster out again, like a proper groin, like could be 2 or 3 months.
They're saying 10 weeks.
It didn't look
They said
good,
10 weeks. Off the bone.
Oh.
Apparently that's what happens. Who was speaking to me today? The dumb one. Groin off the bone, like excruciating pain, like what the fuck is that? And then it just goes away. You're like, what the fuck just happened? And then it's obviously you struggle to walk, but apparently the pain is just like there for 10 seconds and it's just gone.
Oh.
Yeah, he just looked in pain, didn't he?
Mm.
Oh, it was crazy. Because he went back in, so he obviously did it and then had to effect a tackle or make sure the tackle was brought down. And then he just like dove backwards and grabbed his groin. You were just
Mate,
like,
he's
this
so
is not
tough.
good.
Did you see this? Maybe the start of last year, perhaps. He snapped his finger, like popped it out of the skin, made another tackle, like looked at it, and then made another tackle, did something else, then went off and didn't play for a month.
Oh, compound
And then he
fracture.
came back. He might have come back in like 2 or 3 weeks with just like the fattest strap finger of all time.
Oh,
You know what he's going to end up with? That
yeah,
Yeah.
twisty fingers.
twisty fingers. Like he's going to have 7, 8, I reckon. The over under on Munster's twisty fingers is 7.5.
Makes it interesting for Origin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dearden's a moral, I reckon. They go with what they know. They don't muck around up there. They don't go with who's in form. They go with like who they know and who they trust in the trenches, and it works for them. They overachieve at Origin all time, Queensland. I reckon Dearden will be the man to replace Money Munster and partner DCE in the halves, and it's pretty... I'd say it's almost locked in, whereas the Blues side, no one has a fucking clue what will happen. That's what happens every year.
Yep. How good was Mark Nichols' interview as well after the, I thought, who was the bloke from last week, or from a couple of weeks ago, the Sharkies had the best interview, and then old mates come out and said, no, I have to interview with my mouth guarding because I'm missing 2 teeth.
No,
And
because
they-
my missus will blow
My
up.
missus will blow up, and then he took his mouth guard out and he's missing 2 big front chocolates. It was all time.
He actually needed to do something funny, I reckon, for me and Paps, because one of those offloads he tried to try, like, mid to late in the game. Like, Mark, just truck nut. Just truck nut. You're a big front rower. Fucking, we don't need that sort of flare shit from you, Wayne. We need you to win by 12, my man. I think that's rugby league. Oh, the Sharks.
That's another call you laughed at me when I said could they?
Yeah, I did. I'm happy to stick with that. I grew up in the Sutherland Shire, which is where they are, and one year they were good, and they got done for rorting that year. That they were good. They're a perennial underachiever. They do look good though, and they've got the wettest hair halfback in Australia. But he'll play Origin, I reckon.
Yeah.
Which isn't good for the Sharks. Great for him, not good for the Sharks. So you're even firmer now, perhaps, than ever on the Sharkies.
Yeah, well, my man's pretty. He's pretty keen on as well. He was. Even the Dolphins, like obviously not to win it, but he was keen on the Dolphins top 4 at the start of the year. Sharky's going alright, but it's just hard to go past Penrith when they've got Cleary in. But is he going to come back? Like, in still good nick? It's tough to come back from those big injuries, but he's obviously one of the greatest, so he'll be right. But yeah, it's going to be good, I reckon, come end of the year.
That's rugby league. How are we going to Supercoach? We're going pretty good, I think.
Yeah, you're usually all over the Supercoach for the NRL. I haven't actually checked in a while.
All I
how'd we go
know
last
is
week?
from a selection manager point of view, I've been burning the trades.
Love it.
So we need to probably put a fucking hold on them.
What was
Or
the
we're gonna run out.
We've just come up. We had a winner last week. Oh, we still got 24 trades. We've got plenty. We just
Yeah,
got
there's a lot of rugby league left. They play fucking ever. They really put the boys through the ringer because cash is king. That's rugby league. We're dominating Supercoach. A sad week, really, on the early Crow NRL tipping comp. We saw 2 of the greats stumble. And you never want to see your champions, stumble. But they did. I'm sure
After
Sean
we
Bright.
pumped him up as well.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll bounce back.
Sums
I'm
up
very
how
sure
tough the week was if Juzzy and I are the only 2 that are in the positive for the week too. So that sums up how hard this week of NRL tipping was, I think.
That stings.
Yep.
Paps and I 1 and 2, and that was by half a point. That one win.
Yep.
Hug the league. God's winter game.
All right, that's enough of NRL. Over to the NBA. It'd be a miss from us if we didn't give Dan a bit of a shout out. I think it was episode 11 or episode 10, way back in the early days. It would have been, what month would it have been, Dan? Maybe August last year?
Or
a bit later?
September, I reckon.
Yeah, September. He's tipped Tyrese Maxey for the most improved player at $3 and the MVP Nikola Jokic at $5. I take it was a bit of a nice collect for you when both of those lobbed.
Yeah, I got Maxi at $10 a few weeks before the episode and Jokic at $5. So it was a pretty good wait when the playoffs started for him to start announcing the awards, that's for sure.
Love it. And how do you see the NBA at the moment? What's happened and what can we expect to see going towards the playoffs?
So we've had the 1 seed in the East. The Celtics have a pretty faultless run through to the Eastern Conference Finals. And then
Shout out to Matty Punts and Juzzy who are riding that real hard.
they were favourite at the start of the year. They had the best record. You know, they haven't had any adversity yet. They play
Which makes sense as to why they're in their multis.
easy pick. So they'll play the
favourites.
Pacers, who come from the 6th seed. They knocked off the Knicks in Game 7 today. The Knicks just, too many injuries caught up with them in the end, and they just couldn't get it done. So I think that'll be a good series. The Pacers are fully healthy, but I think the Celtics will be too strong for them. There's not much of a betting angle there. They're nearly unbackable, the Celtics, to win the whole thing, so there's not much value to be had. And in the West, Dallas beat Oklahoma a couple of days ago, and Minnesota today in Game 7 upset last year's champion Denver Nuggets to get through to the Western Conference Final. So I'm cheering for the Wolves. I've got a little 15-1 to win the West ticket back in November, so I'm riding that one hard.
Do you think they're a chance?
Yeah, I think it'll be a Minnesota-Boston final, and I think Minnesota matched up really good with Boston. So I think that'll be I reckon that'll go 6 or 7 games, and it'll be a good playoff series.
What are your thoughts on the Ant Edwards? He loves trash talking, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's good.
Was he the one giving it to Charles Barkley on Twitter?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like
good.
it. He's very confident and typical American, just very overconfident. I didn't like it so much today when he was carrying on a bit at the end. I thought he should have probably been a bit more humble. Like, they haven't really achieved anything yet. It's through to the Western Conference Final, so there's still a couple of ladders to climb. But yeah, he's very good to watch. So I think if you want a betting angle, the team you think will make the final, maybe look at some of the MVPs for the final market. There's still some value there because it's got all 4 teams' players in it. So, if you think Dallas will get in and you like Luka, there can be some value there. I think Tatum's the favourite and Ant might be second favourite. But in terms of who you think will win the whole thing, there's just not much value in the market now. It looks like it'll be, I think Minnesota are $1.50 to win their series and Boston are about $1.30. So getting late in the season, not many teams left, so it's hard to find a betting angle.
I would have thought that Luka and Kyrie and that were like sort of the perfect playoff setup.
Yeah, they look like a good team. They've been really good since the trade deadline and they added a couple of players. I just don't feel like they've got the depth at the big man spots to give Minnesota trouble. And Minnesota gave Jamal Murray a lot of trouble in that series against Denver. I think their wing guards are really good and will give Luka a tough series.
Luka unders then, maybe.
Oh, they got to be a brave man.
There's an
Got
angle
to be
for
a
you.
brave man to bet Luka. He gets big usage, gets a lot of the ball. You got to be brave to play with that.
So if you were cancelling Matty Punts and Cross Juzzy, the hater of tomato sauce, are they just letting it ride? Feeling good about themselves, riding the Boston Celtics all the way to the championship?
Yeah, I'd let it ride. For sure.
That's convenient because I'm sure that's what they're both going to do anyway.
What about, have you seen any of
Sick.
LeBron James's son doing the draft workouts, trying to enter the draft?
No?
Is there some controversy there with the height of the actual height of himself or
Yeah,
something?
so his whole last college and last year of high school, they had him listed at 6'4", and then at the draft combine, when they've done the measurements without shoes, he was 6'1". So unless he's playing in high heels, I don't know where he's finding the 3 inches.
Is he going to get picked up, or what's the story? Like, I've heard he went really well in the 3-point shootout, but 6'1", that's small.
Yeah, I don't personally think he should, but he probably will really late in the draft, just because of who he is. But I sort of look at, you think of like those really good race mares, Dicko, and not many of them throw a good horse, like those over-raced mares. They don't. A lot of really good NBA players' sons are no good. I think that because of their name and they're the sons of whoever, people think they're going to be good. But you got to remember, like, these NBA players are on the road half the year. Like, they're not spending time with their kids playing basketball growing up. Like, they're not putting the time into them.
How tall would Steph Curry
I
be?
think he's like 6'3".
Actually, he's shorter than Steph
Yeah,
Curry.
and people say he's small.
He is.
So, yeah, I just look through the
Wow.
top 75 players in history, and not many of them had sons that even made it to the NBA or were any good.
And it's not for want of trying either, like they've thrown a few, like there's been a
Well,
few
they
sons.
think Anthony Edwards is Michael Jordan's long-lost son, so he looks a lot like him. I think Carmelo Anthony's son, he'll be really good. He's in high school now. I think he'll be really good, but yeah, there's not many.
All right, that's NBA. If you're riding home Boston, feel good about yourselves. The Guru has stamped that ticket. Let's go and do some horse racing before we get into what everyone's waiting for. I'm sure you're listening at home. You're going, when is it? It's at the end. It's trivia. Horse racing. Let's kick off with Bella Nipotina. And I don't know if we throw it right at the start, Dan, or the end, but geez, it triggered me. All the dot balls that never say anything negative about anyone. Ready to praise Craig. Shut it. Just shut it.
Yeah, everyone's
Why? They can't help it,
everyone's
can
having to
they?
lay the boots into him when he gets one wrong, but when he gives one a 10 out of 10, it's crickets.
How well did he speak post the win? He's just the greatest articulator of how and why and what he did in a race and what this man did and blah 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 that I've ever seen.
He's just one of the game's best operators, whether it's speed maps, form, dealing with owners, dealing with media. He's just a good human, like he's like the Scotty Scheffler of racing. Like, he's just, everything about him is good and in the right. His intentions are in the right place all the time.
See, and he's brave. That's what everyone talks like. Even if people trying to pat him on the back now, they're they don't understand what he did that was good. He jumped off the back of a $2 favourite to build momentum into a race. That is big boy ballsy shit. Again, from him to spot all the shitty cops, and he made the right decision in a huge race and won a Group 1, which is so valuable for that mare and those connections. I think it was a phenomenal ride, great impulse decision. She's a freak mare, and I think, obviously you're a trainer, you can put this into more perspective than I can, but I thought the training performance from Kieran and his team is one of the better ones I've ever seen. She went Melbourne, ran in that good race behind Cylinder, who jumped out of the clouds and ran one good race in his life off to stud. That was a huge rating race. Then Sydney, then over to Perth, and now to Brisbane, and wins. Unbelievable from Kieran and his team.
As a mare, to cop all that travel, it's fair effort.
I think even if you put in a context of just like an athlete, Tom, if you got put through that, you're not running a PB up in Brisbane.
Just trying to put it into athlete terms. Those West Coast trips, they take it out of you. It's if you're not used to it as well. So doesn't travel
Like you
that
think
much.
about it, yeah, like say it was Carlton and they had 2 games at home, then they had to come play the Swans, then they got to go play West Coast, then they got to go play the Lions.
Yeah.
If we were talking about like are they going to perform or not against the Lions, we're all going they've got to be cooked from that travel, and they're getting every
exactly.
possible Subway. You want a Subway? You want a bit of KFC after the game? What do you need? You got it. Powerades up. Boom, 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 boom. Unbelievable.
Yeah, good horse, good tough horse. I really like her.
You missed her. You zigged and zagged once on it, didn't you?
Yeah, remember that time?
Yeah, I remember it.
I really liked its run in Sydney up the fence there. And no, that was when it won, wasn't it? Well, I
I
liked its
remember
run.
like you spent 2 days going. I love what she did last start. She's going to be like my main bet in this race and probably on the day. And then Saturday morning you went away from it.
Yeah,
And then like
one.
50 minutes to go, you're in the WhatsApp blowing up.
Loves it. It's a bit of soft 8 or soft 7, heavy 8. Loves that sort of green.
How grateful are you that you don't have to bet at Scone every second Saturday?
Geez, I copped some sick. I think I had 3 or 4 seconds there on Saturday. It was crook. Amendable.
Oh,
Shadows of Love. And then what was the other one? Oh, the other one was in Doomben. Mikhail and Instructor. Fuck
yeah.
me.
Yeah, that was crook. The instructor was a bit of a sickie.
Mm.
You going to follow Amenable forward?
It was a strange run, wasn't it? It was sort of never going to win, and then it was like, oh fuck, here we go, back to the inside, and then it's interesting because I reckon a couple of weeks ago I said obviously a harder race. I think it was, and then it's come out and ran well again. So I think you can follow it going forward. Just obviously, where is it drawn again? It's a good horse that can, if it draws a gate, it can go forward and put itself in a good spot. So I like that about it.
You watch much of Flemington, Dan?
I caught a couple of the main races, but that was about it.
What about Milford?
That was in the last, was it?
6-year-old, second up, 600 metres, almost as good as ever got in its life. I got to go into a 10.1, which is like open class, almost group class rating straight away. 2,000 metre horse. I think it was a huge run from a horse you can half trust, from a camp that certainly doesn't get to the bottom of them early in the prep too often. I thought it was an enormous run.
He's good like that. Mike, he seems to be able to get those older horses, like Buffalo River, like he looked fast 2 years ago, didn't he? Like horses like that, he just keeps getting them to those open app handicap horses. They just keep coming up prep after prep.
I thought one of the training performances outside of Kieran's and Michael, Big Mike, Grant and Alana Williams, Western Empire, back, completely back. Proper horse. That was 1,200 metres. I got to a 10.9, as good as it's ever gone in its life, just about. Short of its best trip, in for a phenomenal preparation. They could travel that horse if they wanted to. It's ready to, it's more than competitive in anything in the Eastern States.
Does it get over bet because of what it was and what it was hyped to be, and then potentially bringing it back after performing well in its
Yes
first
and no,
two
it has
starts
been
back?
over bet for most of its life, and now it's sort of like, looks like it's well and truly back. It's a 6-year-old gelding. Like, you can, it's got 4 years left. I think it was a really, a great performance and a credit to the stable. Another horse that caught my eye was Grigots up in at Doomben. That's as good as it's ever gone in its life on my stuff. And the other run that's near it, or as good as it, is a 1,600 metre run on a soft track. So I think J Car soft tracks is that horse's sort of box tick that you need to get for it to be really competitive in a really good mile race. And then the final horse I'll talk about from the weekend is probably the Map. 5-year-old mare, wins a ticket in the Melbourne Cup. She gone better than what she went on Saturday on my stuff. I don't know where we sort of put her then in regard to Melbourne Cup, though. I think she's a 3 to 4 lengths, maybe 2 to 3 lengths if you're being kind off being competitive in that sort of race, although it was a really nice win.
I think they can get their entry fee back. You run somewhere between 12th and 8th, I reckon. It's a great training performance, and they're very good. Dan and Oppie are great trainers. So it's a wrap for them to get a horse in and get the ticket in, and hope she goes there and earns a check for them. It's a great story.
Hey, how's your stable going, Dan? What's in store for you this week?
A bit rough. Had a bit of a rough bull carnival. A few.
Yep.
Couldn't find the
There's
right
only
lanes.
one lane there. There's no lanes there. Look, I travel.
What's that? Really? Are you sure about that? Because I didn't see anything about that on the coverage, really.
It's controversial. As
Don't you love it? Sorry, I'm sorry I'm cutting you off, but don't you love it when you're watching it and for the first 2 to 3, 4 races, the on-air talent at the only thing they're cheering harder than the horses they've tipped is a fair track, and they're just praying to God that there's a little bit of it. Oh, the third horse made a little bit of ground there. I think we're okay. By the 4th or 5th race, I'm like, yeah, it's fucking on pace.
it was very frustrating. And, as society is there these days, you can't give anyone hard criticism or hard feedback anymore. You just got to cop it on the chin. But I think I took 6 horses there, and 2 of them didn't handle the track at all, and 4 of them, they sort of went like they were gallop short because they just weren't ready for that sort of track conditions. And then we haven't had many runners since. We've been waiting for the weather to turn, which it still doesn't look like it's going to. But we'll crank up in the next few weeks.
It is amazing, the weather at the moment here, eh?
Oh, it's good for golf. That's about it.
All right, Blackbookers for this week. Paps, you jump in when you got one, if you got one. She's a con, 4-year-old mare for G-Bag. Trialled really well before finding a really hot race and getting way too far back first up. Savage the line. I thought it was a really, really big run from a nice horse with actual upside. Probably want to see her 3 weeks between runs, though, just off that tempo. Couple of 2-year-old fillies from the colt. That's Kira Ma. And not Dave Oosters, just Kira Ma now. Coraline, 2-year-old filly. Exceed and Excel out of Kui Rup. Remember it, Dan? Nice filly or mare they had.
Kui Rup.
Yeah, she was not suited and she was enormous, I thought. She'll win a maiden probably a fair bit better than that. And the other filly for theirs is a 2-year-old again and another Profit. Badly not suited at Mornington. Savage the line like Charlie Sheen style. Really got into its work late. I thought Sac Radaro, 3-year-old colt for Griffiths to cock. The market frothed this horse big time. Sandown Wednesday last week, held up. Blake Shin rode 8th fastest last 100 metres of the day on debut, upside galore. Could go to any sort of race they wanted. It's a 3-year-old and it's a maiden. Don't know what sort of ceilings on it, but those horses I've mentioned are all going to win their maidens. Sauncies, I don't know how that's how we pronounce it. Saunces. Moody, Kathy Coleman, 3-year-old filly, 3rd fastest last 200 metres on that debut, not suited, well too far back. It'll win a maiden for sure. I think that horse has a fair bit of scope. And the last horse, Saturday horse, and I reckon it might be a pretty special horse. Well, not a special horse, but almost a proper horse. Paul Pruska trains. Poison Chalice. 4-year-old, huge run first up, over 1200, down the straight. Fastest last 100. Today, every other PB in its life or good performance over a mile to 800 metres. Anyway, that's my Blackbookers. Tommy, anything at all?
Nah, amendable. Tell you that.
They got 6, now they've got 7. That's plenty if you're listening at home.
Yeah.
That's going to be the guts of the show. We're going to finish now with something I'm incredibly excited about. My man, your man, our man, Tom Papley stepping into the chair to host, to steer trivia.
Right,
I'm asking him with our names to get first crack at the answer. How many questions roughly? 10 to 12?
Yeah, maybe a little bit more. Let's see how we go.
Play along at home.
Righto. In what year was the Norm Smith first awarded and who won it?
Jack.
Yep.
1987, Gary Ayres.
Dan,
No.
1980, Kevin Bartlett.
Yep. No.
Praddy.
Yeah.
19.
He's reading shit. He's reading.
I'm not reading anything.
You got to be a brave judge here, perhaps. You can't let this guy cheat.
I'm not reading anything. What am I going to read? Your messages on WhatsApp. 1981, Kevin Bartlett.
No, it's there. Suck you in there, Praddy. You try to because I thought
I
it was
did. I
both.
thought
No.
I saw you a little rightio.
I
You
love
were a
it.
little
What a
bit cheeky.
host. Yeah, good work, Pat.
No. 1979, Wayne Harms.
Oh, Harmsy.
Yeah,
He's the
Harmsy.
bloke that smacked the ball back in, isn't he?
Yep. Right, name
shout
the
out to
players that tied the 2003 Brownlow medal.
Jack.
Yep.
Goods, Buckley, Rashudo.
Bang, one to Jack.
That's a good one. I was 17 on school camp, and they made us go to bed, and I snuck out and was hanging around the teacher's tent because they were watching it, wanting to know who won because I'd backed Goodsy. And they were like, "What do you mean? You're 17?" Like, yeah, I got $13 on Goodsy about 3 months ago.
That's
Love
cool.
it.
What round and year did I debut and who against? And for a bonus point, someone played their last ever game.
Is it a point per correct answer?
Yeah.
Jack. Adelaide Oval. And 26. That's probably like 2000. He played in 2015.
Wrong.
Fuck.
Praddy. Collingwood at the SCG.
Tick.
The year was... Fuck. 2011?
Right.
How old do you reckon he is, mate?
Oh, no, that'd be way too far. wouldn't it?
Oh, you're off the Richter.
Yeah, that's bad.
You're wobbly.
2016.
So you got. Yep. Dan.
Yeah.
That
Dane Swan's
that all-
last game.
Yep. So
Ready
I'm
to
giving.
another one.
So that I said. Yep.
I thought you said
Nah.
Adelaide Oval to me once.
Yeah. Praddy.
Fuck.
Did you get two then? What do you say, Praddy?
Yeah, Sydney. You played Collingwood at the SCG.
Yeah, but you didn't say Collingwood, did you? You said.
I did, yeah. I said Collingwood and SCG.
Oh, did you?
Dan got the year.
Yeah. Sorry.
Update the scores, please.
Dan 2, Praddy 1, Dicko 1. Oh, sorry. Dan 1, Praddy 2.
Thank you.
Fuck.
Righto. What brand of football was used before the Sharon?
Jack. Faulkner.
Yep. Righto. On to the cricket. Don Bradman, Brian Lara, Chris Gale all have one thing in common. What is it?
Shit blokes. That up.
Dan.
Who were the blokes,
They all-
sorry? Oh, sorry, you go down.
Don Bradman,
They all
Brian
made-
Lara, Chris Gale.
Double centuries, Boxing Day test.
No.
Jack. All made double centuries at Lords.
No.
All divorced.
Praddy, all have high scores over 250.
No. They've all players to make more than one triple century.
Fuck, I was going to go triple and I thought I'd downgrade anyway. Fuck.
I thought that was too easy and he's getting a bit tactical and he's just giving us a little layup there.
Yeah.
All right, this is recorded in February 2024. Who currently tops the ICC rankings for Test batsmen?
Praddy.
Yeah.
Smudge?
No.
Jack. Root.
No.
Oh, who it is? Think.
Kane Williamson.
There's only one more answer.
Yeah.
Is it?
Thank you.
It was.
Kiwi.
Yep.
White Kiwis. They always get me, eh?
So we're all on 2 at the moment.
Love it.
Righto. Who won the first
Dan.
ever World Cup?
Praddy.
Blanca.
Who was that?
Ooh. You got
I
to
know, you're
pick who
hosting.
you heard
You gotta
first.
pick.
You're the,
I heard
you're the
Brady.
true.
West Indies.
I was wrong
Yep.
anyway.
That's well done. All right, last cricket question. What type of bowling does Praddy bowl?
Jack,
Praddy.
slow to medium left arm.
Left arm Chinaman.
Correct.
Left arm Chinaman.
To be honest, I only threw medium in there because I knew that's what Paps would want to hear. I would have just said slow.
All right. NRL. Got 3 NRL questions.
Oh, surely.
Which ground did the Broncos return home to and what year? 2 points if you get it right.
Praddy.
Jack.
Praddy?
Suncorp.
Yep.
2003.
Yep.
Oh, that was an absolute guess. You welcome, Dicko.
Praddy's on 5. Righto. You ready?
Yeah. Jack's not mentally, but
What is the team name of South Sydney?
Praddy.
Jack.
Praddy again.
Rabbitohs.
There's no way.
What do you mean there's no way? You can go back and listen to the
If you're
recording.
listening at home, get in touch if you've heard
you
my
can go
name
back and
first.
listen to the
I reckon
recording.
I've got both.
I reckon you're wrong.
Praddy's all over this. Ready? What premiership years were stripped of the Storm?
Praddy. 11, 12,
You've gone
and
too
16.
late.
And
No.
2008 and 2009.
Oh. 2009, correct? 1.
2007.
Yep. Righto. Dicko 4, Dan 3, Praddy 6.
How many questions are left?
With 3, but there's
Oh, here we go. We
there's
can stand
a
up.
you can on the last one you can get
Oh, who am I?
5
is it?
points. No, it's not. I reckon Dan could be a chance as well. Righto, racing. Name the race course where the Kentucky Derby is held.
Dan. Is it the Aqueduct?
No.
Oh. But are you looking for something,
brain.
Dicko, or?
Jack. Churchill
His
Downs.
brain.
Yeah.
Well done. I would not have got that.
Dicko 4.
No, isn't that 5?
Yeah, it should be 5.
Yeah, 5. Sorry. Righto. How many Group 1s is J Mac Road?
Praddy.
Jack.
Praddy?
He got that.
101.
Man,
No.
Calm down, Peter.
does Jack get to go because he was
Peter
blind?
Pan. Yeah, Jack. 87.
No.
100.
96. Righto.
Sorry, Jamie.
So this one is the 5 point. If you can name. So it's 1 point for how many horses have done it, and then an extra point for each horse you name. How many horses have won more than one Melbourne Cup?
Jack
Praddy.
4.
Jack?
4.
No.
Praddy.
Oh, well, you're giving us the points. So I just tried to reverse engineer that.
Do you want to have a guess who you just...
Oh, yeah.
Who's going
guess.
first, me?
Yeah, you said 4, so you're wrong there.
Mackay Deva.
Yep.
Fowler.
No.
Fuck, I don't have a clue.
Praddy?
5.
Yep.
Our Waverley Star.
No.
Oh,
Archer, Peter Pan, Rain Lover, Think Big,
Archer was the
Macaulay
first one.
Diva.
I
Archer
think
was the
Big's the
first
one we missed.
Dicko was the only one that I would have got. Macaulay Diva.
Righto.
So, I'm gonna win
So
again.
Praddy wins again on
I'm not
7,
going to sleep tonight.
and Dicko on 6, and Dan on 4. So that wraps up the episode 34 trivia.
Can I just get it? Did I lose by 1?
Yep.
I can't wait for you to listen to the podcast, Dicko, and
I will
realise
be.
that I buzzed in
First
twice.
time.
So,
The fourth.
Praddies, you're up next for doing it.
Yep. Easy.
Hey, Tom, outstanding. Outstanding. Very well done. Dan, God bless you. Thank you for coming on, talking golf, ponies, NBA, AFL, and everything in between. Loved having you on. Hope you enjoyed yourself. I hope you enjoyed the show. If you're listening at home, don't forget, this show this week was brought to you by Makita. It's been the Early Crow, episode 34. I hope you have a phenomenal week. Enjoy yourselves. Be good to each other, and bye for now.